Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. A couple things here for you. So now that I've played around with the Leica Q2 and gone through a bunch of different gas cycle stuff, I wouldn't say it's over, but I've hit a point where I think this winter lull that I typically run into that causes me to kind of go through kind of crazy spurts of gas is coming to an end. It's starting to warm up. We're hitting like 50 here in Michigan pretty much all week, which is great. We'll get out more. And I have some projects planned that I want to start working on. Whether I show them here to you or not, maybe that's part of my content from here on out. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. But I'm doing this video because I have to apologize to you guys because I realize I contribute to the problem, right? I contribute to the plethora of videos on YouTube that talk about different gear switches and that kind of stuff. And candidly, it's because it's low-hanging fruit, right? And it's also low-hanging fruit from the perspective of it doesn't take any talent or skill really to go pick up a piece of equipment, go use it for a while, and then share your opinion. That's low friction to producing. And there's a lot of people on YouTube that do that. And honestly, it's what gets the most views because I think people inherently think, well, if I only had this camera, then I would be better at this. And I'm apologizing because the net result of that is we lay around at home in bed, maybe on the toilet watching it. I know you guys do that. We all do it. And you see it and you're like, yeah, man, the new Fuji X-T5, that nostalgic neg profile that Eric uses for his videos, man, it looks really good. Or that 16 Sigma 1.4, that's a great cheap lens for a good value that Eric used. It focuses well on his Fuji. That's awesome. I should get that. And then you buy another piece of gear, another piece of gear, another piece of gear, and nothing ever really happens. Right? And the actual real thing that you go out there and do it's limited. Where you find out if you just would have used the crap you had, you're probably good. My point is I'm apologizing for doing that. And so what's got me on that? Well, a couple things. A big thing at the end. So stick to the end. I'll let you guys know something, and we'll talk about that. But I've talked about this in the past. And at the end of the day, it's what does your work amount to? Now, in my little YouTube, or maybe it's on Instagram, I have something in my profile that says, capturing the most important thing in the world to me, which is my family. And I don't really try to go out of my way to be artsy-fartsy with those. It's more of documenting just kids like, here. Went to Florida in 2020. My baby daughter was just born. And you look back, and this is just a trip. I have pictures just from the trip, And I know I shot this on a Ricoh GR and a Panasonic S5. And then for one of the years in 2021, that was in 2020. So in 2021, I did in seasons. So I did like spring of 2021 right here, a whole bunch of different cameras. Oh, shoot, I dropped it. Back. I did winter. So here's winter of 21. Again, a whole bunch of different cameras, whole pile of different cameras. Skiing, snowboarding, snowmobiling, whatever. Summer of 21, right here. Right, again, whole bunch of different cameras, all sorts of different stuff. Film cameras, Leica M8, it doesn't matter. So many different things. Ricoh GR, Sony ZV-1, Fuji, just a ton of different cameras. The reason why I bring it up is because all of the cameras did the job. All the cameras did the job. They did a great job in different ways. It was just really me experimenting and screwing around. And I just printed this book right here, which is just a pile of all of our books for 2022. These aren't meant to be sold, they're not to be shared. This sits on a coffee table or on a little thing. I don't know what you call these things. My wife has funny words for furniture. Anyways, it sits in that thing, and we pick it up every now and then, and we look at it, and we say, wow, remember that trip we went on? Or remember when our kids were this little? Or, wow, she wasn't even born yet? All those things. That's what this is for. And that really is kind of it, right? You're either a working professional photographer that's shooting gigs and you need gear for that, or you're a hobbyist that takes pictures of your family and you do stuff like that. And all the stuff that we do on YouTube just really, it just detracts from it in a lot of ways. Now, there is useful information. Like when I do a review of the Fuji camera or something, I think there's stuff in there that people are like, oh, I didn't even think about this. That's good to know. And I think that's really, really interesting. But the downfall of that is then you get fed the next video, the next video, the next video, and you're like, did I buy the right camera? Should I have bought the right camera? And there's a lot of confirmation bias that takes place and all that sorts of stuff. And so I just want to apologize for contributing to that. And I can't can honestly say I don't think I'm going to totally stop contributing to that, but I am going to start some photo projects. So all those books have been for me. And I'm actually started working already on the 2023 book. I took my family photos and I'm trying to do it more street photography-ish or more documentary style instead of that was kind of more portraiture style. So we're going to see how that goes. I've already started a folder with that in there. I'm going to get into some stuff this summer. I plan to do a theme I haven't thought about. I have a couple ideas. I haven't solidified what that is. I might share it with you and I might start bringing you along for that. I know the views will suffer because at the end of the day, like I think less people are interested in my actual photography stuff. But I'll still share some gear stuff as well. But I say all this because if you watch me, I am contributing to the problem. So hopefully we can stop that. And I got to tell you, if you waited this long, this little rant that I decided to make, this is off the cuff as you can tell. I sold my Leica M10. Sold my Leica M10. It is gone. It is in the hands of some new owner. It is now my third Leica M body that I've bought and sold. And it really comes down to a couple things. I love the camera. It came down to this. I was using the back screen way too much to assure my exposure. And then having to control the ISO dial up here, right? I know people say to you, like when you're using a Leica, you should just pop up the ISO dial, set it, make sure you're good, and then take your photos and get to shooting. Unfortunately for me, the way I use the camera, that's not it. I'm going in and out of a car, to outside, to in my house, and I'm constantly having to change. And so I need something a little quicker. The Leica M11 actually changed that where on the back wheel you can change ISO, which is great. And on the prior generations, the M240 and M262 and such, there was a button that you could hold down and then scroll the wheel and change your ISO. And so the M10 in particular, the changing of the ISO was restricted to that one dial, and that kind of drove me nuts. And where I've ended with Leica right now is that either the Leica M body specifically is that it either needs to be a film camera, or I think for me, because I shoot for pleasure, I would want unique output that might be relegated to the CCD sensors. So for me, that's where I'm parking it now. But in saying that, I'm addicted to the premium build quality of Leica, 100%. I'll be honest with you, shooting that Q2, shooting the Leica SL2 in the past, the files that came out of that were awesome, really, really, really awesome. And the build quality, I just can't use any other camera now or without thinking about the Leica build quality. I'm a sucker for things that are premiumly built. And so we'll see where we end up with that whole thing. Anyways, the Leica M10 is gone. I just have this Fuji for right now, and it works really well. Having some fun times. No card issues ever since I switched over to just uncompressed RAW files. I lost those compressed, might have been part of the issue. We're doing good so far. Okay. One last thing. I'm gonna make it worth your time while we're here. I hate throwing multiple topics into one video, right? Like I'm part of the problem for YouTube. Print your photos. Oh, I sold my Leica M10, and then for Fuji, this bad boy right here. This lens. You guys see this? Yep. This is the 27-28 WR. Awesome lens. This is one of the few lenses that has amazing micro contrast for Fuji and sharpness. And I'll put some photos up from a birthday party I went to over the weekend here. If you can get your hands on this, it's been sold out everywhere. Definitely get it for Fuji. Just a recommendation. Oh, speaking of printing, I'll save it for another video. It's coming up. All right, thanks for watching. This was a kind of a ramblings video. I have something else for you tomorrow. See ya.